The past of fucking greatness.
What's up? This is Bad Boy on the mic, and we are back with episode 15.
With
And
Aqua.
we have our special guest, Aqua.
That's what I go by. Yeah.
So testing out the new camera, and we are doing the thing. We're doing the thing. So, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just here. I'm going with the flow.
And today's topic is the path to greatness. And obviously that is a broad title, broad topic. There's some things that that entails. But I think the angle that we're shooting for today is, like in our lives, what made us what we are, what helped shape us to where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I know for me, like a lot of y'all don't know this, but I'm from the DC area, and that's big city for most people. Obviously, most of the government's in DC. So I, grew up. Had mom and dad. My dad left when I was 7. I was a badass kid growing up. When I say bad, I mean bad. But I was always that kid that was into stuff, wanting to learn stuff. I used to tear stuff apart just to see how it worked, and didn't always know how to put it back together. But I was always alive, full of energy, and a lot of times that energy got scolded. It got. I felt like I got punished from a lot of people that didn't either understand, appreciate, or either like my energy. And then over time, I had to learn how to adjust around certain people. As I got older, I noticed that it was more. It seemed like offensive. I used to laugh super loud. Well, the blessing in disguise was how I was able to adjust around different people to not stand out. And in some ways, it's not a good thing, but in some ways, it became a good thing because, like I used to, I think it was probably last year that when I really had this revelation where it's like I was trained by bullies. Like, because it's the bullies.
I understand the feeling.
You laugh too loud, man. What's wrong with you, man? Wasn't that funny? Or why you do this? I was just different, and so I say I was trained by bullies, but it really helped me to be more like a chameleon with my personality. And it was like now it's kind of like a superpower because it's like I can go anywhere around anyone and fit in, and I also know how to energize the room too, because a lot of times
you walk into a room and people just feel that like strong energy.
Yeah,
and they're just drawn to it. And it's different. Yeah.
That part, and it's just kind of like I'd be the life of the party because now I know how not to be the thorn of the party.
The life of the party versus the thorn. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I completely understand.
Because you're obviously gorgeous, so you have, pretty privilege, some would say.
In some situations, not all situations. Some situations I could be like, yeah, okay, that worked in my favor, but then other situations I'd be like, not so much. Not every single situation though.
And obviously, you had to grow into that. But when you were in middle school, high school, did you still have that popularity?
Sometimes.
So you were kind of like, like the one that was like, oh, she's gorgeous. She has a lot of friends. And then you just bloomed at some point later.
I actually had both because believe it or not, when I went through middle school, a lot of people picked on me and bullied me. But then like once I got past ninth, I want to say ninth or tenth grade, once I got to like tenth grade, people started to like praise me more. And that's really like the phase of time that I started to hit my attractiveness. I was not attracted around 10th or 11th grade. And that's when people really started to notice me and find me more attractive and
Okay.
treat me as such. But before then, people did not treat me as such.
So when you were, we're using the term bully, but when you were that, I guess, were favorable people that might have acted a certain way or may not have been as friendly, how were you able to deal with that?
I
What,
honestly,
what was your process of getting through those situations?
I honestly ignored it the best that I could. I ignored it and I just kept continuing like doing my own thing. But once it reached a certain point, I was like, okay. Once I reached like ninth or 10th grade, I started to sign up for more sports, more activities. I got into better shape. And that's when people really started to like notice me and notice how attractive I actually was. But before like 10th grade, everybody was just like bullying me and
So were you
picking
like
on
good
me
at
and
the
shit.
sports that you played? What sports did you play?
Yes, I did swim team and I did show choir. I did competitive choir and dance. I did competitive dance, and then I did swim team. I did competitive swim. I went to regionals,
Okay.
and before dance and swim, I wasn't doing anything at all. So people were picking on me more before I decided to sign up for those sports.
Gotcha. So I didn't
Yeah.
play any sports. um, I was barely in school. I skipped a lot. So, and you gotta have grades to do sports
Yeah.
in the curriculum, and that I didn't have. But I did play like street ball and
Yeah.
with the kids, and I was always
Some people don't even peak their late teens to 20s. I
yeah.
feel like that was the case for me. I was such an ugly duckling before my early 20s and teens. Like, before I was around like 17, 18, I was so fucking ugly. Like, I was, I was such a nerd.
I
And like,
doubt you were that ugly.
nobody
You might not
paid,
have been glamorous, but
nobody paid attention to me. Everybody was laughing at me, making me like the joke of the day. But then after like late teens to 20s, that's when I really started to peak and take myself serious in sports and other activities outside.
that's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like a um like good way to bounce off of that I guess success because you were you good on each sport that you played?
I was very good. Actually, when I did swim team, I went to regionals and I competed against male competitors.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I actually beat the males in swim team. I beat them in the regionals.
Okay.
I was a very, very good swimmer. Actually, when I graduated high school, I signed up for the Navy, and I wanted to go to be a like competitive diver. I wanted to go to be a rescue diver and a competitive diver. And a lot of people didn't take me serious, but I did not even take myself serious until my later teen years.
And so, but once you started to perform on the teams, and it kind of almost had to
Then
take you
it
serious.
started to catch people's attention, like,
Oh,
okay,
she's
yeah,
pretty good.
she's actually serious. She's actually serious, and she's taking the sport serious. And I did not take myself serious until I was around like 16 to 18 years old. Around 17,
I
18, I
can
started to do competitive swim, and I signed up for the Navy. Yeah,
I can kind
as
of
a
relate to
diver.
that. So like I was always respectful in front of adults, and
Yeah,
kind of don't really see much of that in today's time. Like these kids disrespectful as fuck, not mine because I
yeah.
pop them in the
A
mouth.
lot of
But
people don't
I
peak
didn't.
until the late, till after high school years. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sophomore and beyond.
When you say peak, what do you mean by peak?
Peak as in athletics, sports and athletics. A lot of people don't even believe in themselves. They don't take themselves serious in sports or just even believe in themselves until after a certain time period. And that was the case for me. In middle school, I was such a fucking loser. Like I got made fun of. I got jokes made. I didn't believe in myself at all until after I was like 17 years old, and I started to actually seriously compete in the swim regionals and the Navy.
I get that, and by me not being in sports at all, I guess my peak wasn't until my teenage years because again I was
Yeah.
bad. I used to like terrorize the neighborhood.
You just weren't really taking
If something went
serious,
bad
yeah.
in the
You'd
neighborhood,
just be like, oh,
they
whatever.
automatically
Yeah.
assumed it was me.
Yeah.
Like automatically, like oh that was there.
A
Like
lot
I
of
was
people
like
don't
Dennis the
even.
Menace.
A lot of people don't even peak until their later years. That was the
I
case
didn't.
with me. I
I
didn't peak
mean,
until my 20s.
I did not peak until after I got locked up.
Yeah, I didn't peak until
I
after high
was
school.
I remember I
Until I
was
graduated.
17 and
Mhm.
my mom took me to a psychiatrist,
Mhm.
therapist, whatever you want to call him. And at the end of the day, um, he would. I don't even think we would revisit him. And he was literally, I kind of like a textbook type therapist or psychiatrist, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And the third visit, my mom would tell him some stuff that happened, and he literally suggested to her, so well, you know, a lot of times when parents can't handle their children at the age of
They make
18,
that
you
send them
literally went
off.
straight to
And
they put them out.
yeah, they try to
He
just send them
suggested
off. They
that,
like
and
fuck
then
off, go away. Like my mom did that
well,
shit to me.
he didn't say it like he said it in a way
Yeah.
that a person with no feeling
In
or
a
no
different
thought
way. Yeah.
would say something like, well, you know, worst case scenario, you put them out. And then my mom literally took that and ran with it. She started to listen to
Everybody else's opinion.
well,
Like
his, because he was the only one saying, well, maybe there was other people who I
that
didn't
happened to
hear her
me
say,
too, so I understand.
but I remember one time we were
That
washing the
happened to me.
dishes, and she was like, well, you know, I think I'm
I've been on
thinking
my
about
own
putting
since
you out.
18. Like I've been on my own since 18, and I had to find a way to survive since I was 18. Like, but you know what? At the end of the day, no matter what anybody said, I was very ambitious, and regardless of anybody talking shit or spreading rumors or saying whatever they had to say about me, I found a way. Ever since I was 18 years old, they tried to put me out, and I still found a way for myself.
She didn't try.
So,
Kind
yeah.
of leaning toward that, and I ended up. I
Mhm.
remember stealing my brother's car one night. Me and
Yeah.
my best friend at the time, and I knew that I knew my brother's sleep pattern. Like I knew it as if I studied it,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get the car back in time for it to cool down for him not to know
For
that
that
it was you.
situation.
So
Yeah.
I ended up taking his car and driving down the Roanoke, and I ended up staying down there for a little while. And he ended up
At
coming
the
and
end of the
getting it.
day, who fucking cares? Like,
And
if
I mean, it's not so much about who cares. It's just
you made a way for
I made
yourself,
a, I
just
made
like I
a,
did.
I made a rash decision to take his car and to drive south to Roanoke, of all places.
Yeah.
And that made matters obviously worse from what would have happened had I stayed there.
Yeah.
But you know, and that's one of the things that I learned is about jumping to conclusions and about moving too fast because sometimes when you move too fast, that's when things get really
And then you
bad.
fuck up your blessings.
You fuck up a lot of things.
Yeah, God has a lot of blessings for us, but if you try to rush the process, it can fuck up the whole
Because
process.
sometimes we don't know
You just
how
let
long the
it
universe is going
come
to take
through
to fix
naturally.
something.
You've got to let
Look
what
at
God has in store.
I look at how I went from then to like being like thinking things on my own without thinking things through to where I am now, where like I let things process. I try to let things, you know, work themselves out, and like let time sometimes let
Sort
things
itself
happen.
out. Yeah.
You know, because I don't just rush things anymore. You know,
You just let it happen naturally.
all right, because back at that time,
God's
like I
plan
didn't
is
even,
God's plan at the end of the day. Like,
and we
it's
don't
gonna
know
sort
what his
itself
plan
out.
is, and when
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know what his plan is gonna be.
that part, and because back at that time, I would like literally work a job just to get a paycheck, just to go out on a weekend or go do something crazy or go buy something I wanted.
Mhm.
But then, like after I was going to Roanoke and being down there and not having the shelter of a parent to like take care of things and catch problems when they happen.
Yeah.
I went down there and really had a rough time for a long time. I was down there for 8 months, and it was crazy because at one, I'm thinking about letting you come back into the house, and that like I was like, yeah, I've been waiting to
You
hear
were
that.
like, okay,
I was
yeah. So
excited.
like
I
the
literally
God had
left.
something else in mind.
I left.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did.
He had something else in mind.
I left Roanoke. I hitchhiked. I hit the
And you never
interstate
know.
and walked basically home. I ended up getting a ride with a truck driver. I was,
Mm-hmm.
rode with him for like 4 hours. It took me 12 hours from Roanoke to DC.
Yeah.
It's a 4 hour drive, 4.5. But it literally took me 12 hours to get back. It was nighttime. I went to my house and knocked on the door. My brother came to the door like, "What you want?" Like, "That's nice, Pokemon."
And did you get further whenever it was God's plan on your own time?
That
Whenever it was through
it
time process to
wasn't even about
realize who was there and who was not.
it wasn't even about getting further. It was
Yeah.
me again moving too fast. I didn't get a confirmation.
Yeah.
When my mom came to the
It
door,
was just not the right
she
scenario.
literally said to me, she was like, "Well, I was just thinking, decided one way or another." And literally, long story short, shut the door. Like I couldn't come in.
It was just not the right situation.
But it was. I look back at it, and it helped. I guess part of the independence part because I had nowhere to go. I couldn't go to none of my friends' house. I went to this apartment complex where I used to skip school, and um, went up under the stairways. I was gonna go sleep under there. He did.
At the end of the day, he still sorted it out and gave you a better scenario.
But what he
And that's
did
what matters.
was show me through strangers because sometimes you said sometimes
it
it's
is
family,
like
sometimes
that.
it's not. But
Sometimes, yeah,
there
sometimes
was
it's not family.
there was a guy that came out and he saw me under the steps.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I had on a pair of Reebok Classics, red Reebok
Oh
Classics,
my
and
gosh.
after being in them for 12 hours and then walking and being in them for that long,
And he was
my
like,
socks,
no.
my socks were red. So as I'm sitting under the
Like
staircase,
from breathing.
from the shoes, the dye from the shoes
Oh my
bled
gosh.
into my socks. So you can imagine I'm sitting under the steps with red socks, and I'm like, they might think I'm dead, murdered, anything. So
you're
I
just
put my
in this
shoes on, sat on, and out to smoke because he didn't smoke in the apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
His roommate came in a little while after, and because the other guy seen me out there, the older guy that came in, who just came from work, he had came out. He had talked to me. He was asking me what's going on, and then
He
I
asked you
told him
about your situation.
he asked me what I was doing out here,
Okay.
because obviously they didn't see me out there before.
Yeah.
So, and I basically told him I just went through that. I just hitchhiked home to talk to my mom because she was thinking about letting me in the house, but she actually didn't let me in the house. And he ended up talking to me a little bit longer, and then he let me come in his house, and he let me stay there, and I ended up staying there for I think another at least 8 to 10 months. He became like family. I called him my dad. The guy that came out first, he was Jamaican. His name was Frank. He was cool as shit, but he did help me. He took me in, and gave me home and gave me.
And he put you in a better position.
He put me in a better position. However, because I was not, I was not where I needed to be mentally yet. I still was doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So later on down the line, now mind you, I had a good time there. I had my own room, treated me like family. I started to get a job, here and there to try to do little things, but I didn't hit that transitional mental part yet where I still took life seriously. I was, still acting like a kid. So
I understand that.
But there was a time when I had some friends that I grew up with that I've been knowing all my life. They were in college, which is the retarded part, and they stole a car from Tennessee. Came home. Me and Tony, the one that took me in, me and him was kind of arguing at the time, and they was like, "You want to ride with us down to Tennessee?" And I was like, yeah, fuck it, let me go.
And that was
And
like another situation
that
set you up for
that was me
failure.
rushing some
That
shit.
was
Like,
another setup for failure
well,
because that wasn't like entirely healing from what
it
you needed
wasn't
to heal
necessarily a
from.
failure because what it did was it
It
literally
just opened
it
your eyes to
stripped this
something
it
else.
stripped a lot of things from me
Yeah.
that need to be stripped because
Mhm.
that ride ended up riding with them.
Open up your eyes.
James, well, my oldest friend and his friend family,
Mhm.
Tarek was like, let's get another car because this one might not make it to Tennessee. Blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I think this one's riding just fine. I'm like, well, we need another car. But I don't want to say we
Yeah.
still in
No, I
cars.
understand.
But no, me and the other guy got out. And
Yeah.
I just basically still watched. I didn't really like
Mhm.
get involved. I just got in the car and
Mhm.
ended up getting locked up. Did
Oh,
did 6 years off of 8 because it was still bad. First three
that's
years
good.
and locked up, I was like, yeah,
You were just
there
like,
was a rule
okay,
book and
like,
I broke every rule in it.
yeah.
But what it um, jail was like
It kind of opened your eyes into some
it
perspectives.
opened a whole lot of things because
Yeah.
you see stuff in there
Just you don't see outside of there.
that you don't see outside of there
Yeah.
because you have people who have really serious things going on with their
Yeah.
sentences and so forth, and they ain't playing no
Some things
games.
that are
You
forgivable, and
know,
you'd be like, okay, like I forgive this. And then other things you'd be like, ooh, like I would never retract my, steps back to this place.
yeah. I mean, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, in the jail, you don't realize the seriousness
Yeah.
of getting in trouble,
I understand.
and because they have a format, so it's
Mhm.
30 for 30. If you're getting 30 for 30, that means
Yeah.
you're every 30 days you do they take 30 days off the end of your sentence.
Yep.
They have 30 for 30, 20 for 30, 10 for 30, and 0 for 30. By the time I
Mhm.
got to prison, which was 3 years later, I was in the jail for 3 years.
And you got
I, I was
mad
at
at that.
0 for 30. That's how bad I was. Like I was just going on. I was beating people up for stupid stuff. Like
Yeah.
you know,
You
because
already
you
have it
have
like
all
on
these
your
freaking
shoulders.
things you watch on TV, and then you go inside there and you're like,
And you
wow, this
already
ain't
have it on
happening
your
to me.
shoulders.
You
Like,
know, chip. I had all kinds of
and
chips.
people
I
don't
had a
even know
whole
the
tree on my
half.
shoulder.
People don't even, and people don't even know the half of the situation. Like,
But it's not. It's not.
yeah.
Not so much that. It's just I felt like I had to like literally put this whole like
Facade.
yeah. Well, kind of
Yeah.
like facade, but like the virtual billboard, like don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
But then when
I
I
get
got
what you're
to
saying.
3 years
Yeah.
later, they moved me to an actual
Unit.
um
Like,
like well
yeah.
prison.
Like
You know, you leave the jail, you go
yeah.
to a it was minimum,
Like
and
like
and,
room
and
and
then
everything.
you learn the
Yeah.
seriousness of your time once you start going in for parole,
Mm-hmm.
and you start getting denied
Yeah.
because of all the shit that
All
you
the
allowed
stuff
to
that's
happen.
like stacked up.
That
Even
part,
if it's
so
not your fault, it's other people's, it still has stacked up.
that part. So I kind of had to.
I have felt that
I had to
because
slow down. No, that
well,
well,
provoke
yeah,
damage.
as
Yeah.
always one and the
That
same
was my
because
situation too. Just people completely taking advantage. Just I have a huge heart, and people see, okay, she's kind, she's sweet, she's, you know what I mean, easy to take advantage. And I had a lot of situations through the law and through my car, through my insurance, through my driving, that people would be like, okay, she's sweet, she's nice. Can I drive your car? Can I go home? Can I go here? Can I go there? And I'm like, okay, yeah, like sure, like whatever, like go ahead, go home, go whatever, like it's okay. And then it ends up falling under my name, and the law comes under my name. I get fucked over because people crash into a telephone pole. They do whatever they do, driving DUI, driving drunk, driving sauce, completely out of it. And I'm like, okay, I've been a very kind person to allow you to use my vehicle to try and help you. I'm trying to help you get out of a position, and you're putting me into a position because it's falling under my name, and you're fucking up my property under my name.
And
I
then
had to deal with that a lot.
they weren't going to take accountability because
They don't want
it
to take
didn't fall on.
accountability because it don't fall under their name. They don't have any type of fucking respect. It doesn't fall under their name. It falls under mine.
Right.
They don't have any respect if it doesn't fall under the name. It falls under mine.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't care if I crash into a telephone pole. I don't care if I drink a whole bottle while I'm driving. I don't care if I crash into a car. I don't care this. I don't care that. Because it falls under my name at the end of the day. And what do I do? I get slapped with a lesson. I get slapped with a ticket. I get slapped with a bad situation that was not even my fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
And it's
then
not fair.
I know when I finally did prison.
Yeah, it's not fair.
When I tell you, because the way I went in was like this happy-go-lucky kid. I used to smile all the time. I used to like everything was. I trusted everything, and I never experienced any type of hardness. Never been away from my home, my family, my girl. That I never tried to. Came time up.
So he was to 6 letters at the work my friend.
Man, way out of
And guess what?
what?
That same week, I made $3,500 in one fucking week. That I prayed and I cried. He thought he was gonna break me, and I did not let him break me. I did not let him put me down. I did not let him break me. You think you have power over me. You think you're gonna control me. You think you're gonna put me down in the fucking gutter. I'm better than this. I'm better than this, and I can overcome. And I prayed to God and I said, I can fucking overcome. Give me the strength to do this, to overcome. And I did. And I made 3,500 in one fucking week. The day that I prayed over my situation after that breakup. He, whatever he tried to curse on me, it did not work. I prayed over my situation and I made it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of times
It did
people
not
try
work.
to hold you down. They try to put their evil on you.
And when you're God's chosen person, when you move with nothing but good intentions, I move with nothing but good intentions. I give people rides, I buy them lunches, dinners, food. You know what I mean? I give them money, I throw money on them on stage. I do nothing but try and fucking help people out of their situations that they're in because I know how it feels to be in a situation. And I try to help them the best to my ability that I can. And instead of being cursed, I get blessed. And people can't seem to understand. They're like, how does she get blessed financially? How does she get all this money? How does she get all this? Because I don't move in an evil way. I don't move with evil intentions. I pray and I fucking ask for forgiveness. I ask for blessings. I ask for abundance. And that's exactly what I receive.
Yeah, and that's not to say that we don't feel hardships, pains, or anything like that. But when people
But when
have
you're
evil
not an
intent,
evil fucking
it does not
person,
it does
you're
not
not
always take
gonna
hold. It does not
you're
take
not
hold.
gonna be cursed when you're
No.
not an evil fucking person. I'm not an evil fucking person. I'm not an evil person. I pray over blessings and I pray over abundance, not only for myself, but I pray over other women in my workplace. I'm like, you know what? Not just myself, but please, God, bless everybody in this fucking building. Bless everybody here who's here tonight. And I think that's why I stay in such a good financial position. That's why I stay blessed. That's why I stay in a good position because I don't wish evil on anybody. I wish positivity, and that's exactly the energy that I receive back.
And the fact that you always have the tenacious energy to always try to hone and master what you do.
Yeah,
Because it's not
and I
just
receive it back because I don't
doing
put
good
that
for others, but the
negativity
fact
out
that
there.
the fact that you put in that energy in yourself and pour into yourself
And I
the same
ask
way you
for,
pour into others. I mean,
yeah,
you can't have but to kind of move ahead.
I don't ask for negativity. I give people rides. I throw money on them on stage. I try to help them. I hook them up with customers who might be interested. You know what I mean? I try everything in my power to help other women get in a position I can help them financially. So I don't move with evil intentions. And I think that's exactly why I don't receive evil intentions. I receive nothing but blessings and pure intentions into my life because that's exactly how I move.
And that's kind of like especially being in a place like prison. I mean, you think
Yeah,
you could be in there and just
I don't
turn into a
move like
monster
that.
and be just fighting all the time. I didn't. I
I
really
don't
had a
move
lot
like
of
that.
people that actually, even in there, they was like, "Man, you a cool dude." Blah blah
Yeah,
blah. I actually learned how to sew in there. I
yeah,
used to make wave caps and like summertime, making shorts
yeah,
and short sleeve, and that was my hustle. So like, they would want something
exactly.
done, they want something made. I would make it, and then they would pay me in commissary because I had to
And
find a
you don't
way.
move with evil intentions.
Never did. Like
Exactly.
I
And you
really,
stay blessed because of that exact reason.
and a lot something else that I did was actually those that see, like even now, like more so now than then, I don't like drama or
Me
toxicity
either.
or
I don't like
negativity.
drama. I
I
don't like
hung around the
toxic.
old heads that would really teach you
Exactly.
something. I remember saying this guy was like, to be aware is to be alive. And when he first
Yeah,
told it to me, I didn't really know what it means. But like as time went on, I would literally it
exactly.
just kind of like it got I was stronger
It's kind of
in my
like
brain. Like,
ingrained into your
you
mind.
pay
It's like,
attention to more than just,
yeah.
like you walk into a room full of people. Like if you're not
Hmm.
aware of something, if you don't know how to read the room or read the people and read the energy in the room,
You're not gonna
you might
know.
get caught up in some serious stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
You're not gonna have any clue. You're not gonna know. God rewards those who move with good intentions.
yeah.
And I don't move with bad intentions, and that's exactly why I stay blessed
Yeah,
in my
because
life.
I like a lot of times we're
I
in
don't
a
move with
club
that.
area, we're in a club setting, a club
Yeah,
atmosphere, and you have those that have drunk a little too much,
yeah,
and most people are
exactly.
oblivious to it. But like, so
Yeah,
like when I see it, I'm not partying no more. I'm like watching this one
you're
person,
just like,
making
okay,
sure
like,
that he's
they're
okay for one,
okay, like,
and
to
they're
the
not
club
doing
and shit. Like,
anything to
yeah,
cause more drama in the club.
but you're not going out of your way to find some kind of evil
Nah,
intention.
I don't go out of my way, but like when I
Yeah,
get to sometimes when I get to a point, it's more like
okay, like, I've
I'm
had
on the
enough.
defense at this point because
Like
now
you've
like I'm
had
starting
enough.
to notice here and notice that
Uh-huh.
because I'm reading the room. I'm not
You're
just
just kind of like, okay, I've
oblivious
had
to like the
enough.
things that are going on.
Yeah,
Not so much
exactly.
had enough. I'm just acknowledging that okay, that doesn't look like a good situation.
For
That
you.
doesn't for the whole club.
Hmm.
Because if this guy's around, he's
Exactly.
sloppy drunk. Because sometimes we deal with strip clubs. We have somebody that's in there sloppy drunk. He's in there harassing,
Hmm.
antagonizing the females because he's drunk too much.
Exactly.
Like a lot of times, they don't hire me as security, but at the end of the day,
But you still peep
I'm
what's
still
going
going to
on.
roll with
I
security
still peep
because
what's going on. Like,
I see what's
if
going
you're a
on.
fucking weirdo, you're trying to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Assault
mean,
me, harass me. Like,
that part.
I don't need, I am a good dancer at the end of the day. I don't need somebody to fucking assault me. I don't need them to harass me and put their hands on me to give me money. I can make money doing pole tricks. I can make money doing my own thing in the club. Like, I don't need you to fucking harass me. I'm not that down low of a fucking dancer. I don't need you to
It's,
harass me and assault me
and
to give me a tip.
And
And
I don't
fuck
think
you
it's
if you think
anything
that's the
against you
case.
as a dancer. When a person gets too drunk, they're just being
Yeah,
who they
and it's
are, and
like
that's.
fuck them if they think
But
that's
you
the
have to make
case.
sure as a dancer
Yeah.
that you have your focus and that you are in control and that you're
Yeah,
not
like I'm in control. I can do
and
this
you're not like
myself.
too lit yourself and that
Yeah,
you can handle a situation when it comes because you are on point. Because you're there to
exactly.
work. You're not,
Exactly.
and you have some girls that literally
I
like
don't need
just
somebody to ask
be
me
they be too
to
turned,
feel like
too
they need to
turned.
give me a tip. Like I don't. At the end of the day, I am in the top 5 performers. I was a gymnastics major when I was growing up. I did gymnastics. I can do all kinds of crazy tricks. I can do backflips. I can swing on the pole with one arm. I can, you know what I mean, do
Yeah.
splits, sideways, frontways. I can do all kinds of type of tricks. Like I don't fucking need you to harass me and assault me. At the end of the day, I don't fucking need your money. If it comes down to assaulting me, you can get the fuck out of here and go somewhere else. I don't need it, and that's just how I feel.
That part. Now, because we're talking about the path to greatness. So,
Yeah.
like, getting out of prison and moving on to, at that time I was,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I was actually an ordained minister.
I
um,
believe it. I believe
I,
it.
and then, I went into, I was actually living in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and I lived there for a little bit. And then I ended up moving to Alabama when I got married and had some kids. Like, who gave me that idea?
Yeah.
But I had them.
I believe you.
Yeah, I watched it.
I get it.
But,
understand.
I was in Alabama,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, I was there for 12 years. And that was the hardest time as a black man that I've ever been anywhere. And it wasn't even against, like, racism against, like, white folks. It was black people being racist.
Yeah, I understand.
Like, that is so weird to, like, have to deal with. Like, I grew up in
And
D.C.
being down
Some of
south.
my best friends were white.
No, I understand because I've been down south. I
They,
traveled down south a lot. Like,
they hard
I
on you
see how they
sometimes.
move. I see how they move, and they're fucking weird. They're
Not all of
weird.
them. Not all of them. I mean,
Not all of
at
them,
the end
but
of
a
the
lot
day,
of
it was
them.
just
A lot of
certain. It
them
was
are
like it
very
was a
fucking
few
weird.
out of the bunch.
And they like to nitpick on you.
And they just treated me different because I was up from up north, from and I talked different and I didn't blend in, I guess.
Yeah.
But eventually, like I had a lot of good friends. Like it wasn't even so much the people outside of the work area; it was the work area. Like this one job
They
that
just started treating you real fucking weird.
the one job that strong camera back for me was the supervisor, and he was a supervisor. But when I came in, and I don't know even where it came from, but at the end of the day, I guess getting married, having kids, it created a work ethic that I never knew I could have. No, let me finish. I had a work ethic that was created that I never knew I could have. There was a time like when I first got married, moved down to Alabama because it was rough. Like it was cheaper cost of living, but the money that I made was less. So it was I would say for the longest I always had 2 jobs, one full time, one part time. Most of them ended up being like temp jobs, and that's what it took to make it. But then after my divorce, and then I moved on, and I learned a trade. That's why I do home improvements, and I got really good at that. But there was another job a really good job that paid really good. I was probably making $900 a week.
Oh my gosh!
With overtime.
That's decent.
But when I went in, I was at an entry level position, and I literally moved up to like a higher position within a very short time. And it was the supervisor. He acted as if I was about to take his job.
Yeah.
You feel me? But like he just he didn't like me because I was. That's what I'm saying about the part. When I'm saying different, talk different, move different. But I moved in that job like I was a Navy SEAL. I went pop, 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 and up here now. And it kind of felt. I didn't even surpass him because he's a supervisor. But I always say that if you're doing